Hey everybody, ChristopherRodd here, and this is Orwell, Ignorance is Strength. There was a first season of Orwell out last year, and it was very different. It was like a surveillance-style thriller. And this is similar to that, but this time we're playing the role of this top-secret department, and we have the opportunity to manipulate and fabricate the truth. So if you think about the recent times and the usage of the term fake news, this is very timely for that, and I'm kind of excited to get in there. So let's just go. Everyone's playthrough is going to be different, and we'll see what kind of news we can come up with. Let's make a profile, shall we? Okay. Obviously we need to select a picture that best suits us, so we are going to be this guy. That looks exactly like me. I feel like this is a perfect rendition. Okay, email address. I don't know that we need to have this, but fine. I'm one of 4,264 accepted applicants. Your duty is to safeguard the nation. Please agree to the following terms. I'm willing to severely affect the lives of citizens and non-citizens of the nation. I will do whatever is necessary to keep the nation from harm. While working, I will only adhere to the statutes and principles of the office. Yeah, I am 100% in. Now, Orwell in the past gave us the opportunity to basically monitor interactions between people, whether it be text messages, emails, sometimes surveillance cameras, things like that. So I imagine this is going to take things even a step forward. Welcome, Agent. Thank you for heeding the call of the office. Agent Investigator pairing. There are no investigators available for pairing at this time. Please refer to the regular Orwell program. Okay. In order to qualify for special duty within Orwell, taking the aptitude test is mandatory. The test requires you to complete a set of tasks. Follow the on-screen instructions carefully and answer truthfully to the best of your beliefs. Note that an insufficient test result will disqualify you for special duty permanently. Great. All right. Which of the following statements are true to your attitude? Drag and drop at least one of the highlighted statements, or data chunks, into the answer sheet on the left of the screen. Note that your choices are permanent. I am gonna be honest, I like spying on people. I'm gonna answer truthfully. It says we can drop at least one, so let's do... I'd like to protect people if possible. And I'm in it for the money. All of these things are great. Which of the following persons do you consider likely of having committed a crime? Drag and drop data chunks into the answer sheet on the left screen. Note that your choices are permanent. What? Which of the following persons do you consider likely of having committed a crime? Just by looking at them? This is some racial profiling stuff right here. This is what's happening. I don't like this at all. I'm gonna say this dude looks sketchy. Those glasses. Never trust a person with glasses. Which of the following statements do you consider to be true, if any? An unjust law can and should be violated. Two sides to every story, 100%. Absolute truth exists. That's a tough one. It's a tough one to believe in. No such thing as a justified lie. It depends if we're talking big lies or small lies, you know? I think in some situations, justified. Government should safeguard the citizens. I would say generally, yes. I do not like the applicant that I'm turning into. Given the choice, would you prefer to have your medical record or your dating profile investigated? Ooh. I think, this is gonna sound weird, but I think a lot of times just by looking at people, or I'll use me as an example, You might be able to guess what my potential medical records are like. Maybe not some deep-rooted stuff, but me personally, I'm not super sensitive to my medical history. And I don't know, that's a tough one. I guess medical? What does this say here? There's a conflict. Yeah, okay, so we can only pick one. I guess medical, I would prefer. Sure. Which information from your medical profile would you give to an investigator willingly? Size and weight is fine with me. Some people, I guess, would be sensitive to prescriptions. You could have my fitness parameters because I think a lot of times that might go along with size and weight. Pictures and information from full body scan. Past medical conditions and history. I mean, all of this is fine. Even the prescriptions, if I'm speaking personally, fine. And I guess everyone would be different in this scenario because some people are going to be sensitive to that, not me. Confronted with the situation below, which action would you take? Your best friend boasts about having been accepted into Orwell. Since you're working for Orwell yourself, you were talking about your job. Oh, you know that talking about your job is punishable by imprisonment. I don't like this. Without saying anything, I inform the authorities. That's probably what they would want. I warn my friend that I'm working for Orwell too, and that I'll have to inform the authorities. I wonder if just even saying that is punishable by imprisonment. I feign ignorance, but hint that my friend talking about such a delicate job might not be advisable. This. And I do nothing, you know. I'd be like, oh, really? That's cool. So, that seems pretty important. Maybe you shouldn't be talking about that. Insufficient results. You failed the aptitude test. You'll be disqualified permanently. The office has rejected you as an agent for special duty due to your answers in the aptitude test. But if you ask, the test shall be reset and you'll be given another chance. What if this is part of the test? My choices were poor. No. I cannot change my answers. They reflect my honest opinions. I accept the disqualification.
Hello, O'Brien. Is that you?
We're in.
I have to disappoint you.
What? Raban, what? How? After all this time? I didn't think you'd...
Remember what you did? Again, I must disappoint you. I have not been blessed with a short memory.
What? Raban, listen. It wasn't me. I don't know anything about what happened there. That's the truth.
Truth. See, I never had much regard for the Bible, but there's one remarkable, groundbreaking moment. Before being sentenced to death, Jesus goes on and on about being a witness for the truth. But Pilate defies him with the simplest of all questions. What is truth? It is this particular question I've been pondering over for a very long time now. How much of the information ending up on our screens every single day has passed through so many other minds before, each one with their own bias and agenda. It is all cut down to size, proportioned, ready to be consumed. And yet we greedily swallow it all in blissful ignorance, because our hunger is unending.
Stop the nonsense and get to the point. What do you want?
To ask you a question. What is truth?
I don't understand.
Now you're the disappointing one. You of all people should, Oleg Bakay. There is only one thing about truth that is certain. Truth is dead. As you soon will be.
What?
It's a phone call transcript.
You? How did you manage? How? What? What?
I like stuff like this. So I think we're accepted. Thesis. So you would accept disqualification just like that? You're either downright stupid or you're very loyal. You might be exactly whom I need. See? This is good. My name is Ampleford. I am part of a special division within the government, the office. We get called in for the delicate matters. A man named Oleg Bakay. I'm taking notes because it's very important to know who these people are. Disappeared a couple of days ago. The last we heard of him was the call I just played, where the guy was like, there is no truth. I have added a transcript of that dialogue to your reader tool. You can read it again or listen to the recording. When you're done, open the unknown person profile on the left. All right, so here's the transcript. Okay, so this guy says, hello, O'Brien, is that... Let's actually hear the beginning.
O'Brien, is that you?
I have to disappoint you.
It's not who we expected.
What? How? After all this time? I didn't think you'd...
Remember what you did? Again, I must disappoint you. I have not been blessed with a short memory.
But, Raban, listen, it wasn't me. I don't know anything about what happened there. That's the truth.
Okay, so he's referring to some incident between them. And immediately, when he says, remember what you did? Again, I must disappoint you. I have not been blessed with a short memory. Oleg Bakoy, he immediately says it wasn't me. Whatever it is, he's denies the allegations that this other guy has. And then he talks about what is truth, stop the nonsense, what do you want? Says, what is truth? He says, I don't know what you're talking about. Says, now you're the disappointing one. You of all people, Oleg Bakay. There's one thing that is certain. Truth is dead, as you will be. So he threatens him. Okay? Fine. Threatens Oleg. Now, so I guess you're not paired with an investigator. I guess I better walk you through some of the basics. That would be nice, thank you. Within Orwell, you take the role of the investigator. Mind you, you're not a regular investigator, though, but rather an agent on special duty. Your main task is to search online documents and extract relevant pieces of data called data chunks. Those data chunks appear in a multitude of documents, but will always relate to our investigative target in some way. In our case, that target is Bakay. Oleg. For starters, upload Oleg Bakay's name from the transcript to his file by dragging it into the profiler on the left. Okay, so we see his name highlight in here. And we start to build out this profile. Oh, I miss this. Good, this profile is now primed on Oleg Bakay. Now, other data chunks related to this person might appear. Check the transcript for newly found data chunks. Alright, so truth is dead, as you soon will be. Was threatened with death. Very good. So we knew that. I even took that on my notes, feeling good about it. Now we have a related document. That's an odd thing to say, isn't it? We're taking that as a death threat, as did the National Beholder. Now, whenever you upload a data chunk, Orwell will search for online documents with related content and add them to your bookmarks. Bookmarks. Okay, the National Beholder is the most respectable news site in the nation, if you must say so. You may browse their headlines freely to get informed. The recording of that call you heard ended up in their newsroom. Why? That's a piece of the puzzle we're missing right now. Okay, interesting. So the news guys know about this. However, this article is a good starting point for our investigation on Oleg Bakay. To proceed, please adapt his picture and profession. All right. So let's go through this. Is Anti-Cassart blog involved in Pargesian, or is it Pargesian or Pargesian, soldier's disappearance? Recorded call indicates direct involvement of blog The People's Voice in the disappearance of Pargesian Army officer Oleg Bakay. So he was an officer. And this is his photo. As you can see, Oleg Bakay is an important figure in the Parges army, our neighboring country. We're very concerned about his fate. Can upload the portrait. Sweet beard. Very polygonal. Not exactly the most tender smile, but that's not what we're here for after all. So now we have an audio recording of a phone conversation between Pargesian Army Officer Oleg Bakay and Robin Vart. So this will open us this will update a related profile for Robin Vart, right? Let's upload this. Robin Vart. That's the name that Oleg Bakay mentioned during the call. As you see, a new profile has been added, but since Vart isn't a target person, Orwell will not search for related documents. Let's focus on Bakay for a moment. We'll get back to Vart in a second. Robin Vart is known as the editor-in-chief and founder of the highly controversial blog, The People's Voice. Oh, okay. The People's Voice blog. And this guy knew him by voice. So obviously some significance there. In the ominous recording, which has since been verified by experts, the editor directly threatens the officer, claiming that Bakay would be dead soon. In the light of Bakay's recent disappearance, experts have developed a theory that the blog might be directly involved in or may otherwise have incited the incident. The fact that the recording was leaked by an anonymous source to the National Beholder has been interpreted as a direct threat to the Cassart administration of Parges and their alliance with the Nation, which the blog openly and aggressively opposes. So now we have a file on Oleg back at the army website. Okay, so he was a captain. So this is good. Let's go back in here and upload this. Agent, you may have noticed by now that for every data chunk you upload, 10 minutes of time pass due to Orwell's extensive search algorithms. Okay. Yes, I totally noticed that. The events around us will unfold whether or not we are making progress in our case. Keep that in mind. So basically, uploading useless data points advances time, which could make us miss some deadlines. That's okay. Okay. But it's tough to know. Obviously, as we're building out the profile, we got to take everything. The call sign could come back to be important. If we have somebody mention Yanis or Janice later, that's going to be helpful. Janice, how fitting, still goes by this call sign. There's some mythology around that name. I'm granting you access to our database, which you should have a look at. You'll understand it better after you see the files. Okay. Affiliation, 1st Infantry Division Prava. This could be good in case we run into other people that were part of that affiliation. Alright. Field Artillery Officer. Medal of Honor. Okay, so he's obviously within the military ranks, seems reputable. In 2006, he was assigned for protection of Prava from the ongoing threat through anti-government group Forces of True Parges during Prava Civil War. So he's a veteran of the Pargesian Civil War. Promoted to corporal, promoted to sergeant, awarded Medal of Honor for saving civilians. Oh yes, Oleg Bakay is a paragon of honor. Guess not. Wounded in combat, officially absent from service, returned reinstated as captain by privileged command, in charge of 1st Infantry Division Prava. But don't we already know that? From up here? Yeah, we already have that. Okay. Worked with 1st Law Enforcement Battalion of the Army of the Nation, training the local forces. I'm gonna grab this as well. I think early it makes sense to spend as much time getting information as we can. A bloody mess, that Civil War. Parges has suffered a great deal from it. So did the Nation. Okay. Now, we have some new information that's popped up in these other areas. Oh, here's the database. Wait, let's see. When it's got the star here, I think it's just that it's a bookmark. If there's a star down here, I think that's all that it represents. Doesn't necessarily represent that there's new stuff here. Oh, but if we go back to the home page... Oh, look at this! Okay, so this is from the first Orwell. Bomb obliterates Freedom Memorial and kills 3. Explosion destroys the Freedom Memorial in Bonton. 3 people killed, 5 people severely injured. Authorities receive strange letter. This is cool. Detonation destroys the Freedom Memorial in Bonton. At approximately 7:50 p.m. on Wednesday evening, an explosive device detonated at the Freedom Plaza in Bonton. According to the official police reports, 3 people were killed and at least 5 bystanders were severely wounded. The Freedom Memorial was nearly completely destroyed. Police forces closed off the area immediately. Experts believe the attack was an act of terror, with police confirming that the explosive device was homemade and triggered from a short distance away using a cell phone signal. Police reports also confirm that several hours earlier, an anonymous letter containing the first 3 stanzas of the German folk song, Die Gedanken sind frei, the thoughts are free, had reached local authorities. Prime Minister Blaine immediately issued a public press statement firmly condemning the assault and put the nation on high alert until the perpetrators have been brought to justice. That's cool. Okay, well, it's not cool, but, you know. Negotiations in Triflith failed. Pargesian presidents, I really hope I'm saying that right, but you guys let me know. Aborts negotiations with opposition. Violent riots in Triflith. Blaine encourages renewal. Peace negotiations in the riot-ridden Pargesian capital city, Triflith, have been aborted without any result last night. Independent sources report that President Cassart abruptly cut off communication with opposition representatives as the latter represented a tangible plan for the organization of re-elections. The news about the premature cancellation of negotiations caused thousands of people to resume demonstrations in the capital. It has been reported that demonstrators wearing hoods threw incendiary material into the shop windows and onto cars. The police struggled to keep the situation under control. Prime Minister Blaine stated his worries about the negative developments regarding the political situation of the neighboring country and has requested both sides to resume diplomatic discussions. Okay. And a movie shooting that's completed. We saw that this was underway. 100 Gray Shadows, Valentine's Day 2018. So, I like that these timelines are, oh, hold on. Maybe not. Let's see. Okay, April 13th, 2017. So this is last year. This is coming out 2018. So I guess this is like our current date, and this is coming out next year. The third part of the saga to hit movie theaters, it's called Gray Shadows. Lovely. After a lengthy shoot in the hills of Bonton, self-proclaimed visionary director Sumishi Aaron announced that the filming of the eagerly awaited romantic drama 100 Gray Shadows has finally come to an end. Announced via his Timelines profile yesterday, the brash director said he was eager to begin post-production and the final editing stages before the conclusion of the Gray Shadows series would hit the cinemas on Valentine's Day next year. The third and final chapter in the Gray Shadows saga, previous releases being A Gray Shadow and Another Gray Shadow, was creative names, was announced to be released almost 4 years ago, but was postponed numerous times due to production problems. Fans have speculated that this was largely due to the breakdown of Hollywood producer couple Betty Yvonne and Mike McDeal, who have had long-lasting quarrels during the filming as a result. One production hand was reported to say that these spats were getting out of control, and that the completion of any scene featuring both actors was nothing short of pulling teeth. When we reached out to Rhubarb Productions to get a comment, they declined the rumors and claimed that it was mere speculation. All right, so not super important. However, I believe now, good. So the stars do mean that there's more information in there if we dig. And because we're on these websites, we can dig back into like the root pages of them. So here's a history of bravery. Our forces have a long tradition of protecting the Pargesian country. The army as it existed today was formed by General Demjan Cassart as he freed Parges from the oppressive Fiad regime. In spite of successful re-establishment of peace and the freedom of Parges, evil forces still threaten the Pargesian people. I think some of this will end up just like skimming, because it's probably details that we don't need to get bogged down with. In spite of the Pargesian army successfully defeating the Redneck group in 2008 with the help of the National Army, guerrilla war remained and peaked in the attack on our allies. The Blaine administration of the nation then returned to help Parges control the troubling situation in regards to the FDP and our economy. Okay. And what about the welcome page? Proud to serve the people of Parges. All right. Got it. Now, the database. Well, yes, we are in fact worried about our relations with Parges because of Bouquet. You will see that the whole truth is more complex. You're not a simple investigator. You have access to an Orwell build designed to meet the specific needs of the office. We can utilize the data stored in the profiler to circumvent certain restrictions that would otherwise bar us from making progress. Make good use of this ability within our database and the data stored in Bouquet's profile so far to solve my little mystery. Well, we have the call sign. This is separate page for aliases, right? Yeah, aliases. Oh, he looks... You did it. Well done. I'll leave you to your well-deserved info for a moment to truly understand why this case is so precarious. Looks very different. Same color hair, though. Okay. Call sign, date of birth. Let's upload this. Let's actually read the whole thing first. So date of birth, he's Pargesian. Assignment, confidential informant as officer. Okay. Now we'll be able to investigate his phone with the UID. And note, tend to use names of people close to him as passwords. Okay. All right. Let's upload his date of birth. His nationality. The fact that he was on an assignment. I see. Yes, Bakay is our informant, placed inside the Pargesian army for years, now vanished into thin air. You surely grasp the danger this poses should it ever come out. Yeah. We need to understand what happened and then possibly retrieve him or contain the damage. To get to the bottom of this, we'll have to investigate the person who called him last, Robin Vart. Perfect. You already found a trace to him before in the Beholder. I will turn Vart into a target person now. Time to pick up from there. Now, we'll need this phone ID, though, because that's going to give us information to maybe the listener, but also some history of messages, potentially. Luckily, Bakay is using one of our registered phone devices to communicate with us. It seems to be online right now. You can access it using the Insider tool, okay, which I will unlock for you now. And then this thing about the passwords could be very important. Of course, we do inspect and observe the habits of our agents. What do you expect? Okay. Last point of contact. Now, this original stuff might have something new. Here we go. The editor-in-chief thing. So we knew this before, but now we can actually add it to his profile because he's somebody that we're now investigating. And that'll probably get us to his website. People's Voice, we've heard of them. The preposterous news site has been rallying for protests in Parges for years. Judging by that call, Robin Vart and Oleg Bakay seemed well acquainted, even if it isn't the most friendly relationship, apparently. Your task here is twofold. First and foremost, we are to locate Oleg Bakay. Then, in order to understand whether Vart is behind Bakay's disappearance, we need to find out what connects the two in the first place. Exactly. So here's his website. Do we want to check that, or do we want to check the Insider? Let's check the Insider. Phone desktop. Enter key. Of course. Bakay has locked his phone with our own encryption tool. I'm afraid not even Orwell can break that. You will have to find this the old-fashioned way, by finding and applying Bakay's key. See if you can find a hint to discover his password. You may have to dig a little deeper to uncover it, though, so it may be advisable to check other resources first. Alright, so we just learned that his passwords... Where did we put it here? Something in here? Personality? Yeah. Has a habit of using names of people close to him. I don't think he's going to use Robin Vart's name for his phone password. I really don't. So until we find out other relationships, we'll hold off on that. Okay, so here's the People's Voice. One more thing before I let you roam freely. Remember that we are bound to the division of powers defined by the Ethical Codex. Orwell was designed in such a way that not one person alone can look at the documents and interpret the data to make a judgment. That's right. I am the one who decides what to do with said information and take action, the advisor. You, on the other hand, are the one doing the searching for data as well as deciding what to upload, as you will often find misleading and false information. Try disabling data chunks that seem illegitimate or unimportant to you in the data chunk information window. You're now leaving charted territory as far as I'm concerned, and I have to rely on the data you upload to make my calls. Doubt anything you read, especially when it comes to the People's Voice. Don't give me wrong info to work with. I'm counting on you. Yeah, but... okay. Fine. You can see the conflict there, right? Saying out loud what needs to be said. So the nation burns again. President Puppet stops re-election plans. About us. Oh, here we go. The People's Voice is supported by the Angels of the Nation Network, a volunteer team who provide development assistance in Parges. Okay, so this is giving us a bunch of information for Raban. Let's grab this. This will allow you to observe his work email account through the listener tool. Once Robin Vart receives an email or sends one through that account, you'll be notified and be able to read it. Okay. Their support structure is probably important. I don't see this as being, I see this as like building out our network. And we're gonna upload this. I don't see this as being like false info or anything. National Donation Network, If we were to prove that Robin Vart is using the donations for something harmful, we could pull the plug on him. Okay. Let's upload the photo. Independent collective devoted to providing you with the facts that mainstream media outlets try to hide. We've got Ilya Vart. Wait, oh, they're related. Lead editor. Shannon Carrillo, so maybe brothers or something? Shannon Carrillo, media watchdog, and Daniel Buchanan, field reporter, Parges. Okay, nation burns again. 3 people are murdered because of Blaine's incompetence, but guess who will be blamed? So this is in stark, this will be in stark contradiction to this one, right? And it's like, who do we believe? She's saying the National Beholder is like the truth, but then he's got this like blog. According to official police reports, 3 people were killed and at least 5 bystanders wounded. The Freedom Memorial was nearly completely destroyed. Police forces closed off the area immediately. Look at this, like just the way that they talk. 3 people have been brutally massacred right under the government's ever so watchful eye. Didn't surprise me, not one bit. You all know it. Even though no one dares to speak out, the nation is its corrupt leadership and all of their deluded flock who elected them carry the weight of the Freedom Plaza bombing victims upon their shoulders. We should probably upload that. Thanks to the people's voice and our efforts to get the facts out to the people, the situation in the nation has recently been rather calm. Actively calm the situation. I don't know if that's important. Exactly this has been happening for years, dating all the way back to the so-called incident in 2008 when the entire Pargesian people were blamed by the party. Here's what to say about that. As long as Blaine and Cassart remain in power, the best thing about the nation, or the best thing the nation can do is what it's actually doing right now. Okay, so we're gonna upload this, that is blaming the assault on the government. I think we'll leave this one out. Seems like a real charmer after all that the office had learned about him, which is not overly surprising after that phone call, I guess. He won't stop exploiting assault and misfortune of the nation for his own ends. This moment isn't any different. I cannot help but wonder what that donation network of his would say if someone tipped them towards this statement. Oops. See, she's kind of like, she's leading me, isn't she? A supporter. Pretty unspecific, huh? From Robin Vart to David. David, thank you for your ongoing support and your kind words as always. You have proven yourself to be a true supporter of our cause. You will want to watch the news. I have no doubts there'll be a great stir very soon. So he's expecting something to happen. What that is, we don't know. For all we know, this guy's been trying to cook up a large-scale stir for years. I don't see it happening quite yet. Yes, he succeeded to some extent with the ongoing riots, but we can keep that situation under control. TMB, crime rate continues to drop. Okay, hold on. Let's go back into... Oh, I don't want to go in there yet. I want to go back here, and then the president thing. Hold Cassart accountable for breaking his word. President Puppet stops re-election plans. Rejoice, re-elections at last. So you're thinking last week, as much as it was mine. Finally. But no, all of a sudden, President Puppet has taken a big step back from the promise to hold re-elections. Now he acts like he never even knew it was expected, let alone that he is the one who had announced it to the public. He must either be suffering from a severe case of dementia or simply a liar. Does this sound familiar or what? Does President Cassart think we're downright stupid? How does he even dare? We're not blind, we're not deaf. For all we know, Cassart is being controlled by the nation's shady administration. We will oppose this. Oh, this is interesting.